Hey YouTube, I'm back with another deck profile. I've been really busy this week, so I kind of didn't get around to posting this video. But anyway, so this is my updated Metatron deck. Since I did pull 4 Crimson Roar Metatron, I decided to go ahead and build a deck. And actually, in playtesting it, I found that this card is actually surprisingly good. I might actually combine this with the GB2, the Gabriel deck, later on. But for now, I'm keeping it separate just to be able to see all the combos. But this is my new Metatron deck. So, start off 4 Metatron or Crimson Roar Metatron. This is the new one. It's new and improved. Metatron, the nice thing about this card is in late game, you can actually do 2 different effects pretty much consistently on the turns that you do not need to stride or you can't stride anymore. The other backup grade 3s include 3 of the Crimson Impact Metatron. So this is the original one. You kind of don't need, the nice thing about this is you do not need to ride this as the first Vanguard to be able to use Metatron. The new Metatron, the only bad thing about the new Metatron is I kind of wish this was a cross ride, because that would just make this a whole lot better. But it is good the way it is. So that's 7 grade 3, and because I don't run Stride Flutter, I did put 2 backup grade 3s, 2 Circular Saw Curial. Normally this can be the Phoenix Calamity, or any other kind of grade 3 alternative. You could even try attacking in the Legion, but I don't think that's a good idea because there's not a whole lot of room for it in here in terms of the lineup, but it just depends if you want to run the Metatron ride chain or not. Speaking of that weird ride chain, I am actually running it in here. So 4 Crimson Drive, Aphrodite. This is a pretty decent card in Damage Zone, and it combos very well with a stand trigger. We'll get into that in a little bit. But it's very good at powering the Vanguard to go for like a big push and hit magic numbers if you have multiple copies of these in the Damage Zone, which isn't too hard to do because the deck is very good at tutoring cards to the Damage Zone from the hand, as well as getting things from the Damage Zone to the field and swapping things around. So the other grade 2 is 4 Nurse of Broken Heart. This card is really good. It's like a new and improved Million Ray Pegasus, only it is a GB1. But it's still really good because it helps Metatron gain defense when you allow a regard to attack it or something. So it makes blocking easier. And Metatron doesn't have the GB2 skill that Gabriel has. So Broken Heart helps a lot in that regard. And the other grade 2, the only other grade 2 is Million Ray Pegasus. Because it's very good at preventing early game rush. If you're up against like Aquaforce, they'll attack you with a regard first, you take a damage, this thing goes up to 11k, and that pretty much stops the rush right there. So grade 2 is pretty self-explanatory. If you, like I said, if you don't want to run these cards, then I would recommend instead of Circular Saw, you can run the Celestial Promo Legion, and then this can be like that's S-Modal, and the other one, the Legion Mate. For grade 1s, 4 of the original Perfect Guard, the best one for Angel Feathers, Pure Keeper, Requil. So she doesn't have the drawbacks of the new Perfect Guards. Next, 4 Crimson Mine Bruges. Again, not needed if you are wanting to not worry about the quick ride, the fast grade 3 ride method. Even though it's kind of rare to see it happen. That's just kind of what I put together for now. But in playtesting it, I'll go over some combos and see how it works. And then 3 of the Limit Break Enabler. I really kind of want to run 4 of this, but 4 of this, in my opinion, is slightly more important because you'll be striding like 1 or 2 times before you would normally hit around 4 damage. So this is not that important, but it's kind of in here. For now, just to make sure I can get Limit Break consistently. And then 2,000 Ray Pegasus, just have one of these on the field, either behind the Vanguard, probably behind the Vanguard because it is Metatron and she can't hit like huge numbers as easily as others. So typically one of these would be behind the Vanguard, the other one would be somewhere on the field. It's not too hard to swap for these. For the trigger lineup, this is where it gets really interesting. So I am running 3 of this new Doctroid Refros stand trigger. This stand is really hilarious. There's actually kind of like an almost loop in late game that can occur if you get really lucky on your draw that this card allows you to draw. So I'll just say if you draw into this after using its effect, you can loop it multiple times because it's not once per turn. So you can effectively power up the Pegasus cards, Broken Heart, and at the same time with GB1, Broken Heart will also power up Metatron. So you can power them up for like, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8,000, maybe more if you keep looping it more than that. So it's pretty hilarious. And then 1 critical hit angel, because I'm not actually running 4 stands. I'm actually only running 3. Because I don't want to rely too much on the stands. So once I get all 3 of them out of the deck, I don't have to worry about my attack order. I can attack with Vanguard first. And then 4 more, so 8 more stand, or 8 more critical, so 9 critical, 3 stand. I'm trying this interesting lineup here. And then 4 Sunny Smile Angel, the original Angel Feather heal. Just like Los Angeles Megas, it can go back in the deck from the field after it boosts. It's really good in Angel Feather because Angel Feather can actually make use of that skill a lot better than Oracle Think Tank ever could. Because they have a stride unit that heals them, and because they have a lot of damage manipulation style of play, so really good heal trigger for its best one in my opinion. And then 1 Crimson Heart Nahas. This is a starter. Like I said, I'm running the Go Yusha style ride chain. Don't know what else to refer it to it as, but basically when you have the grade 2. For those that don't know how the old Metatron style worked, it allows you to superior ride grade 3 like a turn early. So, and this is good because it's good and bad in certain situations. It's good if you are the second person to ride grade 3. It gives you an advantage because your opponent will actually. No, I take that back. It's good if you go first because that way you get an extra twin drive before your opponent strides. Unless you're going to try to play like real technical and you're going to like hold out on grade 2 for 1 turn. That's never a good idea in the long run. So, yeah, it just depends. But if you don't want to run this chain here where basically if you have these 2 on the field and this is the Vanguard, you can put these 2 in the soul to superior ride Impact Metatron. And then later on, you can ride this, and then that will basically give her the limit break skill of having impact in the soul to do her second effect effectively with the red text. So that's why I'm running that. Like I said, I almost never see this effect happen, but it's still kind of good because it does give you extra twin drive because you know that if you went first, your opponent will stride first. And right now in the meta, striding first usually gives you the advantage of winning a game. This just kind of helps counteract that a little bit because you are breaking even on that first twin drive, unlike Go Yusha, which is actually minusing quite a bit. So for the stride deck, it's pretty simple. 2 Holy Seraph Uriel. This is a good first stride. In most situations, this will be the first stride. 2 Holy Seraph Raphael. This card is a little overrated in my opinion. It's not that I don't recommend running 4. You can definitely run 4 if you want. But I just think like you really need the extra heal like once a game, usually the second stride, and that's about it. Unless you got rushed really bad, then you can use his first stride. But the main one that I find really good in here is Holy Seraph Raziel, the rare stride unit for them, because this thing can actually help power up your ponies and Broken Heart like really well, just as good as the stand trigger would. So this combined with this is just ridiculous in terms of like how much power you can get in turns. And I've actually found turns, strangely enough, where I've looped this like 3 times. Like I top it, put 2 cards, they shuffle half, whatever. Then I draw this card again for some weird reason, and then I don't know, like they cut it or false cut it or something. I drew this card again, so I just activated it again. And it just keeps on recycling cards from the damage zone, turn them face down, send those face down cards back in the deck, draw this card again, activate this card again. So it's like, it's ridiculous. I've powered these up to like 60,000 or something one time in playtesting it. So that's why I'm running the stand trigger. Might actually bump the stand trigger up to 4 because of that. But like I said, these cards are just like the main bread and butter at getting the power on the actual field. And then the last stride unit is just a Blizza, because if you're gonna stride a lot of stuff like this that doesn't counterblast too much. So Blizza will be there to just like use the counterblast and flip something and then go for a really big attack. So that was basically it. This deck is pretty budget. Even Impact Metatron isn't too hard to get. Circular Saw isn't really that important. Like I said, you can run whatever other grade 3 you want. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the video, or what the deck profile, what you change, if anything. And as always, guys, stay tuned for more Cardfight Vanguard videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.